welcome to my channel. This is my third day traveling in Serbia. Since living in Italy, I have been able to enjoy breakfast with eggs every day, which makes me very happy. And I also really like the rich taste of this black coffee. Today, I will be visiting 2 museums. I'm going to the Yugoslav Museum, but this museum is really too far away from the city center. Look, now I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Much later.
I arrived! This statue of Tito was sculpted by a Ukrainian artist. In reality, Tito was only 170 centimeters tall, but the bronze statue is slightly taller to convey the greatness of a leader. Behind me is a picture of the changing territory of the Yugoslav Federation. The Tito Museum is composed of 3 main parts: the House of Flowers, which is also Tito's mausoleum. The second part is the Old Museum, and the third one is what we are seeing now, the museum, May 25th. It was opened on May 25th, 1962. It was built by the city of Belgrade as the birthday gift for Yugoslav President Tito on his 70th birthday. And that's what we're seeing here today. This museum displays the gifts that Tito received from various countries before 1962. I initially wanted to see those gifts to know what kind of souvenirs to buy when I visit those countries in the future. However, I realized that those are all items beyond my purchasing power. Look at this artwork. It comes from China, and no ordinary Chinese family can own it. Here also displays Tito's personal belongings during his lifetime, and those medals represent his glorious political career. The torch is a unique feature of that era. All the text and photo exhibits in the museum showcase the revolutionary and developmental processes of Yugoslavia, which is an integral part of Balkan history. In its early years, Yugoslavia was held together solely by Tito's personal charisma. After his death, the country disintegrated. The wars that followed caused immense physical and psychological trauma to the people, and the divided country will no longer be able to make a difference on the international stage. As someone born and raised in China during the 1980s, the name Yugoslavia is very familiar to me because it was once a partner to our country. We were in the same side, following the same political ideology. But after so many years, Yugoslavia has become a lasting memory for us. As I was leaving the museum, the heaviest rainstorm of 2023 began in Belgrade. Fortunately, I have an umbrella. This is the African Art Museum. I made a decision to visit this museum because I'm gonna go to the Africa soon, just a few days later. This museum is quite small, with most of its exhibits being gifts from African countries and creations by young African artists. The relationship between Serbia and African countries dates back to the Cold War era, when Yugoslavia was one of the founding members of the non-aligned movement, establishing diplomatic and economic ties with many African nations and fostering close artistic exchanges. To be honest, I may not have been aware of this history before. However, this trip has filled another gap in my knowledge. It rained all day. Belgrade was dark and gloomy in the rain. It's time for dinner. I like this restaurant because its style is familiar to me. It always makes me feel like it's the style of a Russian restaurant in my hometown. I just had my dinner. It's still raining. And today I was at two museums. The first one is the Museum of Yugoslavia. That museum, I think, is very special and unique. If you have only one day stay in Belgrade, you must visit that museum. Because we can learn about the history of Yugoslavia, such as establishment of Communist Party and the labor movement, such as this. And this country used to have a very powerful leader. When he died, everything changed. So that kind of history is very special in the world. We should learn. So that is my suggestion. The second one is the African Art Museum. That museum is extremely small, but I have never seen that kind of artwork before. Those wooden sculptures, they are all from West Africa. And so I learned something. It's also a very productive day today, so I'm a little tired because those two museums both very far away from the city center. It took me more than 2 hours to back and forth. So it's time to go to sleep.
The fourth day of my trip in Belgrade is going to Danube River. See you in my next video.